From 1960 to 2024, we have all had Europe's best teams battle out for one trophy. And this year we're going to witness some great teams miss out on one of the most coveted titles in the world. One team at the end will be in conversations for generations to come. Like the ones before them, many of us cherish the Euros and its winner. Across 16 Euros, all the ups and downs, it begs the question, who is the best Euro winner? Before that, I'll give a brief history lesson. Founded in 1958, originally called the European Nations Cup, the UEFA Euros was made to be filler between the end of the previous and the start of the new World Cup. 1992 all the way to 2017, the winners of the Euros would compete in FIFA's Confederations Cup, now being replaced with the Finalissima in 2022. In the early beginnings of the Euros, there was a lot of war and politics that stopped the tournament from being a bigger spectacle. So from 1960 to 1976, there were only 4 teams in the main tournament finals. The winners for the very first Euros wouldn't be a team you'd ever think about to be European pedigree. The Soviet Union were actually good at football during this time period, being highly rated within FIFA's ELO system, and yes, even winning the Euros. The next Euros after the first would go to some familiar faces: Spain in 1964, Italy in 1968, and Germany in 1972. In 1976, however, another unexpected winner would emerge. Maybe to many back then, this wasn't much of a shock, but Czechoslovakia would win the Euros over the Soviet Union. At this point, the Euros were a huge success to UEFA, so they thought expanding the tournament and opting for an 8-team tournament in 1980, where West Germany would win that year's Euros, then France, Netherlands, and frickin' Denmark would win the following Euros, leading into 1996, where it would become a 16-team tournament. And now today we have a 24-team tournament, with the World Cup now featuring 48 teams compared to the usual 32 teams before. There has been talks of a potential Euro team expansion as well. So from a 66-year tournament, who is the best winner and who is the most shocking? Let's find out. In order to find out something that is ultimately subjective to become something that is concrete, well, we use numbers. And in order to not bore you all, I took the difference of all the opponents' FIFA rating ELOs and the eventual winners of each tournament and their ELOs, added it up together, and divided it by the amount of games, giving me an average ELO from qualifiers all the way to the Euro final win. In the end, I would also do an average tournament ELO and an average final ELO. The higher the negative number, the better the winner was compared to the opponents. The lower the negative number, the worse the winner was compared to their opponents. Anything near positive means the winner overachieved compared to the rankings of the opponents. There's still one more thing though. This one thing is the reason why most teams have an asterisk on them. Starting with Italy's win in 1968. After bossing a group with Romania, 21st in the world, Switzerland, 34th in the world, and Siberius, 102nd in the world, Italy would face Bulgaria, 13th in the world, which would lead them into a match with 3rd place in the world, Soviet Union. This is 1968, and I mean, a lot has changed, and that includes football. At the time, games which went to extra time and didn't have a winner wouldn't go to penalty shootouts. Instead, the game would be decided by a coin toss. Yes, a coin toss. The semifinals of the Euros was decided by a coin toss. So Italy would face Yugoslavia in the final. And unlike the other knockout tournaments, the final wouldn't be decided on a coin toss if the game was tied after extra time. It would be replayed. The game would be replayed. I mean, that doesn't sound that bad, but if that happened today, I'd personally be pissed. And in this case, Italy and Yugoslavia would be tied 1-1 after extra time, resulting in a rematch with Italy winning 2-0 to win the Euros. And oh, the host nation for that Euros? It was Italy. To say the least, Italy got a little lucky. What wasn't luck was France's win in 1984. So why do I have an asterisk on it? Simply put it, while being one of the best footballing countries, they hosted their Euros in their own backyard. No need to qualify for the tournament, giving them less matches compared to the winners before them and after them. Take it how you please. Maybe it's harder to win with fewer matches played with your teammates because of chemistry. Maybe it's harder because the country expects you to bring it home. Or maybe you think it's a lot easier to win it because you're on home soil. It is very subjective for sure, but that doesn't even come close to Denmark in 1992. In qualifiers, Denmark would face Fuego Islands, 124th in the world, Austria, 48th in the world, Northern Ireland, 40th in the world, and 8th in the world, Yugoslavia. A pretty tough group for 12th place Denmark, but not impossible. And they would show their quality by winning 6 out of 8 games. This, however, was only good enough to get them 2nd place in the group, eliminating them from qualification. So how the hell did they get in the tournament? Well, Yugoslavia would have many wars for independence, leading them to being banned from the tournament. Denmark would technically be eliminated from the competition and would be included in the tournament instead of Yugoslavia. It still wasn't going to be easy for Denmark, as they would have to face Sweden, 15th in the world, England, 3rd in the world, and France, 2nd in the world, in the same group stage. Well, I mean, after a draw with England, a loss with Sweden, and a fucking win against France, Denmark were through in 2nd place. At this time, the Euros were 2 groups of 4, with 4 teams qualifying, 2 from each of the groups to the knockout rounds, which would start with Sweden versus Germany. A 2-3 win for Germany would send the favorites to the finals. On the other side, we had Netherlands versus Denmark. After 5 minutes, Larsson was scored to make it 0-1 Denmark, making the whole world realize this fairy tale can be a reality. It had been 85 minutes, and the Netherlands had tied it up, but Denmark would come back to take the lead. 5 more minutes and added time to go before Denmark can see a Euro final. But in the 86th minute, Rijkaard would kill the hopes of many, tying the game 2-2. What proceeded was a grueling extra time that would bleed into a penalty shootout as the game would end 2-2. Luckily for Denmark, they were able to snatch a win from the Netherlands, securing their spot in the Euro final. And on the 26th of June 1992, Jensen and Vilfork would score the only 2 goals in the final to give Denmark its first Euro win. And until this point, Denmark had the best average overall ELO, best tournament ELO, and 2nd best final ELO, making them arguably the most shocking winners of all time. And that would be the case if it wasn't for Euro 2004. Somehow, some way, I don't know how, Greece would win Euro 2024 over Portugal in Lisbon, Portugal, destroying a young Cristiano Ronaldo's heart with an average ELO of -15.3, light years beyond any other winner in the modern era, as well as the best tournament ELO and final ELO. Greece, without a shadow of a doubt, is the most shocking team to win the Euros ever. As far as the best teams go, that award goes to Spain 2012, Spain 2008, and France 2000 in that order. 2012 Spain had an average ELO of -45.5. 2008 Spain had an average ELO of -50.1, and 2000 France had an average ELO of -42.5. While the numbers do say 2000 France is the best and Greece was the most shocking winner of all time, it is your opinion at the end of the day to who is the best Euro winner of all time.